And welcome to Between the Lines. Coming up on today's show, we talk with the women's softball team. Steve Weiss and I sit down and discuss what happened over the weekend with KU sports, take a break at halftime, and finally spotlight a KU athlete. Stay tuned. Welcome to Inside the Locker Room. I'm your host, Hunter Valke. Joining me today is Coach Judy Laws and Hannah Allville of the Kutztown women's softball team. Thank you guys for sitting down with us today. So what's the outlook on this upcoming season?
Cautiously optimistic. We had a good year last year. We have a good pitching staff from the fall. They look pretty good. We're still figuring out our outfield, and our infield looks pretty good. So,
And what are you looking forward to this season?
I want to win PSACs this year. We were really close last year, and I think we can do it this year.
Mm-hmm. So what are some team goals that have been set or personal goals for the team this year?
I think just kind of the ones we have every year, like just keep at a high level defensively, be one of the top 2 or 3 in the conference. We've really been working on our offense, hitting, so just get the whole game rounded out by the time we play in the spring.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of your personal goals that you have set out this year for yourself?
Personally, I want to hit better and throw out some girls this year.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of prep have you guys put in during the off season to prepare yourself for this upcoming season?
So in the fall, right away, it's almost like an in season. We play on weekends, and we practice 5 days a week. Now we're in the off season. It's like 8 hours. We're still meeting 5 days a week. They're doing a lot of weight training and hitting, and then just some pitchers and catchers are having sessions every day.
Mm-hmm. What is a daily routine like in season for you guys?
In season, we go to class, depending if we're playing a game or not. Then we get on the bus, go to our game, have study hall.
Mm-hmm. So what is it like to start the season out in February when it's all cold up here and everything like that? Is it a struggle for you guys to get outside and go practice and be ready to go for the season, or is it nice to finally be outside for once and doing something?
We're really fortunate to have a field house here, Kutztown, so we're inside all that time. We're not outside, so we go somewhere and then we're outside playing, and it's usually cold where we go. It's like North Carolina or Myrtle Beach, so it's not like 80 degrees or anything, but we're just all usually so excited to get outside and play. Then we come back and we're back in the gym practicing, and then we go back out. So that usually goes on until mid-March. So it's exciting, though, just to get on the bus and go play.
Now, what differs between your practices that are outside and what it's like practicing in the field house itself?
Not a whole lot of difference, and we even try to get out on some of the turf fields for outfield. It's the biggest difference. It's high, fly balls for outfielders, but we can do a full infield and just like the dirt, just being on dirt as opposed to being on gym floor.
Mm-hmm. Now, the season, when you guys start, is in the springtime, and the weather is very wacky in the spring. How do you plan around your games with weather and stuff like that?
Well, other coaches will try to we'll see 3 days down. Oh, it's going to rain. Let's move it a day earlier, something like that. We have hand warmers. We dress warm. We just deal with it.
Mm-hmm. How does the team prepare for something like that? You're ready. You have classes, tests, something like that, and you know you have a game, and then it gets rained out and it got pushed to another day. How does that affect your schedule and stuff like that?
I mean, it doesn't really affect my schedule. I mean, I don't know. We're in we really want to play, and then it gets pushed back, and then I don't know.
Mm-hmm. She just communicates with her professors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because we let them know ahead of time when we're playing, but weather can throw a wrench in there.
So to start off your guys' season, you guys travel a lot. You will be heading down south for a lot of games. What is it like for you what's it like as a coach to go travel down there to start off your season?
I just enjoy it because we're getting outside to see what we have, what we can work on to fix before we come back and play our league season. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's exciting, and it's like a road trip.
And as a player, how does it feel to be out of class and stuff like that, traveling around and doing everything?
I mean, I love playing softball, so it's really exciting, and getting out from the field house and going playing games in more warmer weather sometimes.
Now, does it turn into all these travel games? Does it turn into a family event? Does your family ever travel down to come see you guys play and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yes.
my family travels out to all of them.
Now, what other things now, too, is there anybody on this team this year that's a real standout to you that you want to see some big improvement from or anything like that?
I just think our pitching staff, we had 2 freshmen last year, Bridget Bailey, and she was conference player of the year, for pitcher. So we're hoping that she maintains that. And, you always got to keep working on your game. And we also have Amber Brugger, who had a good freshman year last year. So, and then we have so those sophomores, we have some new freshmen in. So I think our pitching staff is making me feel comfortable at this point.
Now, Coach Laws, you've been here this is your 32nd season now. Out of those 32 seasons, you've had 29 winning seasons. How do you talk to your team to make them and be such a winning program in your time here?
Oh, I don't know. We just, obviously they're very motivated and they want to do well. So we, try to prepare and practice what's going to come out in games, and so that they're ready for whatever happens in a game situation and that they've, covered it in practice. And then we just talk about it's always a lot more fun to win than it is to lose. So.
And you guys said you guys want to win PSACs this year. How big of a deal would it be if you guys won?
Huge.
Yeah.
Big.
What is some other competition that you have facing this year in the?
So the East is really strong, and we're in 3 divisions because our conference is the biggest conference in Division II, NC Division II. So Westchester's, we bang heads with Ship, Millersville, East Stroudsburg, and now Shepherd has just joined our conference, and they were top of the region last year. So we have a really hard division.
Do you feel like the addition of Shepherd is a good thing for the PSAC, or is it a bad thing?
I've been here like 32 years, so the PSAC was the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, and now obviously there's a lot more teams in it that aren't in that conference. So it makes it larger. So I guess it's good and bad. And it's a little bit, an hour further travel for us when we have to go down there. So it's like a 3-hour bus ride. But they're a good team, so we welcome the competition.
Well, that's all the time we have this week for this episode of Inside the Locker Room. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Love KU sports but can't keep up with the games at work? Well, look no further. KU TV posts live updates on your favorite Kutztown sports to the KU TV Sports Twitter page. Even catch a live halftime show featuring Mike Iannacci, Tyler Trumbauer, and Josh Mastramato. Never miss a game again. Stay updated through either watching KU TV when we go live for games or through the Twitter page KU TV Sports.
Hello and welcome back to this new edition of Halftime. I'm your host Brady Weaver, and today on the show we have Hannah Allville with the softball team trying to teach me how to play some softball. Let's see how that goes. All right, so Hannah, what are you trying to teach me today?
So today we're gonna work on pass balls, and it's gonna work on having a runner at third, and you're gonna say your pitcher does a pass ball, you're gonna get in your ready position to try and get the runner out.
All right, sounds pretty simple. Let's try it out. So last but not least, I think she's going to teach me about some defending drills. Isn't that right?
Yeah, so we're going to work on blocking, and the point of blocking is when your pitcher messes up, they're in the ground. So you really want to cover every space of your body so the ball can bounce off you and it won't go anywhere else. So you can get the ball to a base or whatever you need to do with it.
So that's why you guys wear the catcher's equipment?
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt as much?
No, and you really want to tuck your chin so the ball doesn't come up and hit you in the throat.
Ooh, has that ever happened? No? Okay, hopefully it doesn't today. Let's see how that goes. All right, now we're going to do a little accuracy test to see which one of us has the better accuracy? Let's find out. Well, I want to give a huge shout out to Hannah for coming out today and teaching me some basic necessities on how to become a better catcher. That's all the time we have today at halftime. I'm your host, Brady Weaver. Back to you.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Weekend Update. I'm your host, Stephen Weiss, along with Hunter Velicki. Lots of KU sports action to get into, so let's jump right into it. Number 8, Slippery Rock scored 16 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, including a go-ahead 8-yard touchdown run from Charles Snorwea with 25 seconds left to beat number 13 Kutztown University football team 37-35 in the PSAC championship game Saturday afternoon at Andre Reed Stadium.
Two of the nation's premier offenses and defense, and the only remaining unbeatens in the Super Region 1 entering play, traded blows throughout the afternoon in a game that lived up to its pregame billing.
Kutztown, who were 10-0 at that point, found the end zone on 5 straight possessions spanning the second and third quarters to build a 35-21 lead on a 3-yard TD run with 8:20 left in the third. But Slippery Rock's defense stepped up when called upon, forcing the Golden Bears into a turnover on downs and 3 punts the rest of the way.
The Rock were driving against in the fourth quarter following a KU 3-and-out, but knocked all the balls loose from Rivers III on a 4th down run at the KU 18, and Navarez recovered with 6:22 left in the fourth.
Kutztown couldn't take advantage, however. Wynn Jr. gave a disputable arm wave on an ensuing 37-yard punt to the Slippery Rock 30, but it wasn't called a fair catch, and Wynn Jr. took the return 59 yards to the Golden Bear 11. KU's red zone defense held firm and forced a Jake Chapler 31-yard field goal, and that brought the Rock within 4. Now, what is a fair catch in football, Hunter?
So a fair catch in football it's any hand movement. So how it works is you can, there's a certain level you can go up to block the sun out was what it is. And that's what it was, the discrepancy on the refs that they believe he was putting his hand up to block. But what a fair catch is, you got any motion like this of moving your hand, any circle motion that signals that you're not going to run with the ball.
Right.
And his belief, what we saw when I watched the game, it looked like he called a fair catch there. And it just seems like it, but it looked like it was a discrepancy on the refs' end.
So was this just one? Was it? There was 2 occasions at which this happened, right?
I believe there was almost 3 occasions that he almost did it, to where it was a semi-motion hand where he kind of did it, but it just it comes down to the discrepancy of what the ref thinks of what it's going to be.
Right. But I think it also falls on the player a little bit to make sure that those arm movements are very clear and concise for the refs to see that, because when stuff is happening on the field like that and it's sort of bang bang, I guess it is sort of difficult to judge whether or not it is a fair catch.
Yeah, but especially you saw that on the third, either the second one or the third one that he did, where he did signal it. The Kutztown players were less than 3 yards in front of him, stood there, and he ran with the ball. They threw the flag, but the refs did pick it up again and took it back. That probably should have been a delay of game penalty, because he did already call the fair catch, and they said it was a fair catch, and that would have been another 5 yards, but. It's
at the end of the day, it's an unfortunate thing that we saw, but
and it's a bad thing to see, though, because something like that really just takes away from it takes the wind out of the team pretty much. It really that long return really took it out of Kutztown there. They were just felt a little defeated at that point.
Yeah, and I think it takes a little bit of the integrity away from the game, because as a defending player, you think that guy is waving that fair catch, so you're not going that 100% to tackle him and force the down.
Yeah, but it's comparable to what the NFL is doing right now with their review of a pass interference call. I don't know if you saw the Baltimore game against Houston, against DeAndre Hopkins and stuff like that, where it was clearly pass interference. They didn't call it, though. So it's just, once again, reffing, It's hit or miss sometimes, no matter what you do. You can't really do anything about it.
All right, well, keeping it moving here. Another 3 and out by the host left Roland Rivers III and company 65 yards away with 2:06 remaining. Passes of 10 yards to Henry Litwin and a 17-yarder to Wynn Jr. around a Snorwea 12-yard run took the Rock into the red zone. Snorwea would finish off the drive with an 8-yard TD run in the final minute.
Navarez took Chaplin's kick back 36 yards to the KU 37 before Pinkerton hauled in a pair of DeGalbo passes totaling 29 yards to move the Golden Bears to the SRU 34 with 2 seconds to go. Kutztown opted for a 51-yard field goal into a stiff win for the victory, but it was driven short, and the Rock had its first PSAC title since 2015.
Abdul Hassan Neblet ran 15 times for 141 yards and a pair of second-quarter touchdowns, leaving the redshirt senior from Newark, New Jersey, 61 yards shy of 1,000 this season. DeGalbo added 92 yards and a score on the ground as Kutztown ate up 237 yards on the ground against a Rock defense that was allowing just 92.7 yards per game, 15th best in D2.
Pinkerton finished with a career-high 10 catches for 129 yards and 2 scores. The 6'3" tight end from La Pelle, Maryland, opened the scoring with an 8-yard TD reception late in the first quarter and added a 13-yard TD catch in the final minutes of the first half to give KU a 28-21 lead at the break.
Kutztown got another terrific performance from DeGalbo, who could also garner serious Harlan Hall consideration from Super Region 1. The fifth-year senior quarterback completed 21 of 32 passes for 227 yards and 2 touchdowns while finishing 8 yards shy of 100 on the ground. The Golden Bears' 464 yards of total offense were the second most allowed by Slippery Rock this season. However, Kutztown University football is headed back to the NCAA Division II football championship tournament.
The Golden Bears received the number 2 seed, Super Regional 1, and will host number 7 seed, Tiffin, in the first round game at Andre Reed Stadium on Saturday, November 23rd at 12:05 p.m.
So, another big game coming up here. You unfortunately suffered that loss in the PSAC championship game, but I think this team has a lot to hang their hat on this season. One of the best seasons for KU football in the history of the program. So what are you looking for in this game? You have any predictions?
Well, I think it's the same thing that we've been saying all season. They lost that game before because their offense wasn't there in the second half, really. They didn't really show up in the second half, which it sucks that is, but you got to look forward to because your season's not over now.
Exactly.
You need to move forward and now take it one game at a time here because that's all you can do. You need to look forward and prepare like you have every single week and go out and play your best game. And now, you need to go play 4 full quarters of football.
Exactly.
Is the whole thing.
Exactly. And this game against Tiffin is a very good football team. They're 9-1. They're very good on the ground. They have a very good rushing offense. So I think the defense is going to have to, they have to step up and they have to play well. I actually saw a video on KU TV Sports, the Twitter page. We retweeted it from the KU Athletics of the team sitting down in, I believe, one of the academic forum classrooms, and they were watching the live stream of where they would be placed in the bracket. So I think the excitement is still there. They're moving on. Leave that game in the past and just keep moving.
That game too, it wasn't even like they had a bad performance. It's just they came up just a little bit short is all it was there. They had a good offense. The defense was still good. It's just you need to continue that though. That's all you need to do.
Exactly. Slippery Rock surpassed KU for the top seed in the Super Region by virtue of yesterday's PSAC championship game victory and received a first-round bye. The Rock will face the winner of number 4 IUP and number 5 Shepherd, completing the bottom of the bracket with KU and Tiffin, our number 3 Notre Dame from Ohio, and number 6 Westchester. All right, now keeping things moving here with women's field hockey, a huge playoff game. Junior midfielder Alyssa Donato regrouped after her initial shot was saved, then lifted the rebound over a sprawling goalie that hit netting to send the 4th-ranked and 5th-seeded Kutztown University field hockey team to a 1-0 victory in a 3-1 penalty shootout over 5th-ranked and 4th-seeded Southern New Hampshire University Saturday afternoon in a NCAA first-round game in Manchester, New Hampshire. So yet another game and yet another nail-biter. I feel like this team just can't get away from those 60-minute brawls in the game and then going into these overtimes and another penalty shootout.
I feel like that crazy. I don't know how I would react if I was on the field playing 60 full minutes. Nobody scores, and then your season comes down to penalty shots. It's just like, Oh, like,
Yeah.
it's really like I feel bad for the other team that lost. Unfortunately, it's just
Yeah.
like it takes it out of you there. You play your best game the whole time to come down to that. It's really sad.
And I mean, props to the women's field hockey team for handling that pressure incredibly well. I mean, I can't imagine what that must be like, especially in that penalty shootout situation, like you said, for the season to be on the line and to still come out with the
Yep,
win.
especially like you said, they're on the road up in New Hampshire. There, that's the travel
Yeah.
somewhere and go play and come down to that. Good win though.
Yeah, amazing win. The Golden Bears won just their second NCAA postseason game in program history, first since 1988. They also have won their 15th game of the year, the most by a KU team in a single season since 2007.
Kutztown will now advance to the Final Four and play an NCAA semifinal game against top-seeded Westchester on Friday, November 22nd at 2 p.m. at Millersville University. The other national semifinalist is 2-seeded St. Anselm and 3rd-seeded East Stroudsburg at 5 p.m.
It is the second shootout victory of the season so far for Kutztown, like we said. The first coming at home against number 3 Millersville, that was on October 17th. This is also the 7th win for KU over a ranked opponent in 2019, and the 3rd win in a different state this year, as KU earned victories in the states of PA, Vermont, and New Hampshire. So winning games all over the place.
After 80 minutes of back and forth play, primarily in each team's midfield, a scoreless game had to be decided one way, and the penalty shootout was the answer.
As previously stated, the next game is against the top-seeded Westchester. They're getting to play again. That is coming up on Friday, November 22nd at 2 p.m. At Millersville. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for you on this week's edition of Weekend Update. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Stay tuned for more Between the Lines.
Want some new KU merch? Keep your eyes on the ball. Every Monday after a home football game, you get an additional 5% off all Kutztown apparel at the KU campus store for every touchdown we score, starting at 15%. Win or lose. That's 15, 20, 25, all the way up to 40% off all Kutztown apparel. The sale can be used in-store or on the website, kubstore.com.
My name is Colin Bishop. I'm from Laurel Springs, New Jersey, and I'm a sport management major. I'm a shortstop, infielder generally, just infield, shortstop, third base. My favorite player, I would have to go with Mike Trout. He's from Jersey, and he's one of the best in the league. So, if I couldn't play baseball, I would definitely play basketball. I played basketball up until high school, and I loved basketball. It was just baseball was always the sport for me. I started getting recruited here when about my junior year in high school, and the coach followed me around as I went through high school and my summer games and all. The reason I chose Kutztown, I really like the area, and for me it was the best chance to play right away, and also getting to play against high competition in the PSAC. My favorite moment from baseball has to go back to high school probably, other than my first college game. High school, making the Group 3 championship in Jersey. So the worst injury I ever had was last year. I strained my hamstring, and I was only able to play in 6 games, so I was able to redshirt, but it kept me out for most of the season, so it was tough. Game day rituals, for me, I always wear wrist tape. That's one thing. I always wear the same shirt underneath my jersey. I always wear the same sliding shorts underneath my pants, so that's like one big thing. I have the same pair since like high school. So, a favorite movie about baseball, I love The Sandlot. Big fan of The Sandlot. Pretty popular movie. So, for me, it depends on the day. I mean, I like listening to country. I like listening to like rap and stuff like that. Depends on the kind of mood I'm in. If I want to like just kind of, if I'm like relaxed and stuff, then I'll listen to something just like more happy rather than like something that pumps me up. But I get some songs in there that pump me up. Kind of qualities I think that make a good teammate, I have to say being a good leader, being a team guy, really rooting for the people next to you. I think that's really big, having high character and really just working hard. I think being a good teammate, if you're not slacking, if you're going out there and working hard every day, I think you're doing the best for your team. My greatest accomplishment so far as an athlete, I have to say playing college baseball. I mean, for me, I worked very hard to get here, so I'm trying to continue that and work hard and have success in college right now. My favorite thing to do after a big win, I'd have to say eat. Go out to eat with my family and then spend some time with the teammates. I'd love to work with baseball. Obviously, I play it, but I would love to work with baseball after. Hopefully, big picture, work with the Phillies, because I live about 15 minutes from Philadelphia, so work with the Phillies or the Sixers because I love basketball too. So my dream job, professional baseball player. I would love to play professional baseball. My least favorite memory from baseball, I'd have to say my injury. It was definitely a time to grow for me, but it was tough having to sit out and watch the games and not be able to play. I was definitely there helping the team and trying to do everything I can to help the team, but it was definitely tough trying to sit on the side and not being able to play and help the team out on the field. To describe myself in one word, I'd have to say passionate. For me, as being a baseball player, I really care about baseball, and I really try to work hard and go out there every day and really give it everything I have. My name is Colin Bishop, and I am Player of the Week.
Well, that's all the time we have this week. Don't forget to tune in next week when we sit down with the Kutztown men and women's basketball teams. Check out BTL on YouTube and Facebook, and for all Kutztown sports, go to kubears.com. Remember, outside the lines, you only get the scores, but here, at Between the Lines, we get you inside the locker room.
KUTV on 3. 1, 2, 3. KUTV!